Ever feel like investing is just way too complicated? Trust me, you are not alone. But what if I told you there's a really straightforward path to building wealth? One that doesn't require you to be some kind of stock-picking wizard. Okay, let's dive in and break it all down. Oh man, this feeling is so real, isn't it? You do the right thing, you put the money in the account, you think you've checked the box, and then you find out there's another step. You actually have to invest the money. That little moment of confusion stops so many people right in their tracks. But what if there was a way to just skip all that noise? A powerful, proven strategy that's simple, super low cost, and just designed to work for you over the long haul. Well, there is. And that brings us to this simple, passive solution. Now, this whole idea was championed by a total legend in the investing world, Jack Bogle, the founder of Vanguard. And his whole philosophy is about working smarter, not harder, and just letting the market do the heavy lifting for you. So the heart of this entire strategy is something called an index fund. Think of it like this. Instead of trying to find the one perfect apple in the entire grocery store, you just buy the whole fruit basket, right? An S&P 500 index fund, for example, gives you a tiny slice of the 500 biggest companies in the US. You're not trying to beat the market. You literally are the market.
Okay, I need you to remember this next term. It is absolutely critical, the expense ratio. It's just a tiny annual fee that you pay the fund manager. Now, it might look like a super small number, but trust me, over decades, high fees can literally eat away at your money. So your goal, your mission, is to get this number as low as you possibly can. So just how low are we talking? Well, how about 0.03%? I mean, that's a real expense ratio you can find on some of the most popular index funds out there. To put that in perspective, on a $10,000 investment, that's just $3 a year. That's less than a cup of coffee to own a piece of thousands of companies. It's kind of incredible.
So why does this, kind of boring strategy work so well? Well, it all comes down to this big showdown: passive investing versus active investing. And when you put them side by side, the difference is just night and day. With passive, you're just tracking the market. It's simple, the fees are low, you buy and you hold. Active investing, on the other hand, is all about trying to beat the market. That means lots of trading, which means more complexity, way higher fees, and usually a much bigger tax bill because of all that buying and selling. And this right here really shows you the story of those fees. Look at that difference. An active fund's fee might be more than 10 times higher than a passive fund's. And that little difference, year after year, it compounds. It just quietly eats away at your growth. With passive investing, more of your hard-earned money just stays in your pocket working for you.
So you might be thinking, okay, but are those higher fees for active funds worth it? Do they get better results? Well, the data on this is just overwhelming. Over a 10-year stretch, more than 80% of active fund managers fail to beat their own benchmark index. Just let that sink in for a second. The vast majority of these highly paid experts would have done better for you if they had just bought the simple, cheap index fund in the first place.
So really, it all just boils down to these three simple but powerful ideas. Number one, you get diversification automatically, which helps reduce your risk. Number two, the costs are incredibly low, which means you keep more of your returns. And number three, you are set up to capture the proven long-term growth of the entire market. All right, so the why is pretty clear, right? But what about the how? Like, how do you actually do this? Well, let's get into a super simple, actionable blueprint that you can use. The most beautiful part of this whole approach, which people often call the Boglehead philosophy, after Jack Bogle, is just how elegant it is. You don't need 100 different complicated investments. You can get amazing global diversification with just 3 simple funds. And here's the recipe. That's all it is. First, you get a fund that owns the entire US stock market. Second, a fund that owns stocks from all over the rest of the world. And third, a bond fund, which adds some stability and calms things down a bit when the stock market gets rocky. That's it. Seriously, with these 3 building blocks, you own a piece of the entire global economy. It's so simple, but it is so incredibly powerful. Now, here's the thing. This strategy is brilliantly simple to understand, but that doesn't always make it easy to do. Because the single biggest threat to your long-term success, well, it isn't the stock market. It's you. It's your own behavior. These right here, these are the classic mistakes we all make. Our brains are just wired to freak out when the market drops and to get greedy and chase whatever was hot last year. We convince ourselves that we can be the one genius who can time the market perfectly. But the key to winning at this game isn't genius, it's discipline. It's about consistently investing, keeping your costs low, and, this is the most important part, staying the course, especially when every fiber of your being is screaming at you to sell. If you only take one single thing away from all of this, please let it be this quote. Real wealth isn't built by trying to jump in and out at the perfect moments. It's built by being patient, by consistently investing over long, long periods of time, and just letting the magic of compounding do the work for you. So there you have it. You have the blueprint, a simple, proven, low-cost way to build your wealth over time. The hard part isn't knowing what to do. The hard part is having the discipline to do nothing when everyone around you is panicking. So the real question is, what will your future self thank you for starting today?